Hello, everyone. I'm Estela Casas, creative brand strategist for the Viva Auto Group family of dealerships. Thanks for listening to the VivaStyle Podcast, where we have interesting conversations about the automotive industry that provides hundreds of jobs in the borderland. Let's talk VivaStyle. Well, hello, friend. I don't even know where to start with you.
Well, we have a long story.
We do have not only a long story, but many stories. So, Fran, I used to work with Fran many years ago, and you wore so many different hats, and I'm not sure what role you played in the newsroom because you were such a big part of every aspect of putting together a newscast. Yeah. So, what were your different titles again?
Well, when I first came to the station, I was the web director and responsible to redesign the website. And then I became a producer, which was really out of my realm of experience. But, Eric, Kevin, they trusted me and let me take on that role. And then after I'd done that for a couple of years, I became executive producer, which is really how I kind of became the mother of that newsroom.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was, and I still did wear a lot of hats then.
I think that's what makes you so special and so unique. Right now, fast forward, 10 years, however many years, and you still wear a lot of different hats, and that's what makes you so interesting. What is the biggest hat you wear?
Well, mother and wife and life coach, maybe possibly in that order. I'm doing a lot of stuff now. I have a blended family, and there's challenges there. But no, that's the most important thing. Family has always been the most important thing to me, even when I was super into my career and, I'm on this track. I'm going to climb the ladder. And then I got to the top of the ladder and realized I didn't want to be there. It wasn't satisfying in the way that I anticipated it would be. So I started that downhill climb. And a lot of things happened during that time. I was widowed. And
you were a young widow. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you went through a really tough time, and I see your eyes changed. Your eyes changed when you thought about. Would you like to share what happened?
Sure. I have been living in Missouri and wanted to get back to the Southwest, so I took a pay cut and a lesser, I don't want to say lesser, that sounds really...
A different role.
A different role, a less demanding role.
Yes.
In a news station in Phoenix so that we could move out there and be closer to our kids or my son and my grandsons and all of that. And I ended up leaving that job and trying to transition into some other kind of work. And during that time, my husband died unexpectedly. He was young. He was 45. And, our whole world got turned upside down by that. So for me, there was before, right? There was me before, and then there was me after. And me before always felt limited, or I maybe I'm not good enough for that, or maybe and me after, I can't care anymore. I can't care about whether I'm good enough. I'm good enough. I've already proven that. That was the worst thing ever to happen in my life, ever. And I'm going to get all
That's all right.
about it now, but I'm very happy with my life. but it's still sad. You know, we're coming off of July, and July was the month that it happened. And every year it comes for me, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm fortunate that I've remarried, and I have a husband who understands how it can be possible for me to be very happy and very sad at the same time.
And everything in between, right?
Exactly. It's just, you know, I feel like this is life, and I want to live life. So whatever comes.
So when you say living life, you have to enjoy, you have to laugh, you have to love, you have to have so many different emotions, and that's what living is all about.
Yes, definitely.
So that is what changed your whole world. Becoming a widow is what changed your entire world, changed you.
It undoubtedly. You know, I'm a believer that there are certain points in life where you just have, and they're pretty predictable, where you just have these paradigm shifts, right? Everything changes in your life. And all human beings experience that when you turn 18 or when you hit your
milestones.
30s. Yes,
sure.
Exactly. But this one, for me, it really forced me to not step up, because I always was taking care of my kids
Everything.
and my family
Sure.
and whatever, but it forced me to look at how I take care of myself. It forced me to look at the world differently.
Of course. And that continues to happen in your life. But before we started, I said you have many challenges, and you don't see them as challenges. They're just living in life, right? Mm-hmm. Do you want to share some of the other things that I consider challenges, but that you consider just everyday occurrences?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what you consider challenge to me and what I just consider life. But if you're talking about blending a family, if you're talking about having a trans child, first of all, the evolution of that, I've never, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing any of my kids could ever do that would change what I think of or feel about them.
Of course not. There are children. And
so when my son Sam said, "This is the deal," Sam was born female, and we're transitioning now, and it's mostly social transition because he's young, he's right. Underage, but we're legally changing his name, and that is how he's presenting to the world, and he's going into high school now. And I think that rather than look at that as any kind of challenge, I'm like, well, this is where I step up as a mother, because it's not kind to people who are different in that way. Right. And so I'm in mama bear mode a lot now, because we go to school, and I want my child to be respected and all of that. So we've
it's a challenge. I mean, I consider it a challenge. That's very hard. And I mean, all of a sudden you hear all these celebrities whose children come out as transgender, and so they hold it in for a long time. Mm-hmm. You haven't. You are very open about talking about your child, and it's hard.
But because I think that is the only way that the world changes. If people, if you think about it just in terms of gay people, right? If you stay in the closet, no one can hear you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if no one can hear you, then the world doesn't look the same as when you're in it and talking about it and being open and honest about it.
And living.
And living, exactly. I really would love to have a time, to achieve a time where people don't have to talk about it, where it's just normal, you know, where it's just, this is how human beings are.
Well, it is becoming more the norm, or at least you hear about it more. It's always happened. But now you get to talk about it and be more open about it. And that allows a lot of people to come out and start living.
Right. And there's a little bit, you know, for me, there's a little bit of a dichotomy there, because I, on the one hand, have a very strong desire to protect my child.
Right.
Right. Not from harm necessarily, although yes, that, but to
Socially.
protect them socially and emotionally and all of those things. And then there's also the knowledge that if I don't advocate for him vocally, if I don't show him how to advocate for himself vocally and out there, then that battle to make him safe and protected and all of that is lost just by inaction. And I can't not do anything about that. I can't not be vocal about that, because I think in the long run, it's better for him and for everyone
else. Sure.
So
That's a big hat you're wearing right now. I guess we all, put on different hats. Okay, this one's coming off, and okay, let's put this one on, and let's put, take this one off now.
All right, I'll wear 5 of these at a time. And
at a time,
I'm making
that's
a
right.
statement.
What is your statement, Fran?
I don't know that I have a statement. I think that the thing that I tell everybody, and the thing that the most important thing to me to do in life is to love. And what I want people to understand is that love looks different depending on the situation. So the question to ask is, what is the most loving thing I can do right now in this
all
moment?
aspects.
Right.
Okay.
Because sometimes the most loving thing I can do for someone is to step away from them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the most loving thing I can do is make space so that I don't.
Or just get in their face, right?
Exactly.
And everything in between.
And maybe I love you so much, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think.
Right.
Or maybe I love you so much, I'm not going to say anything at all. And I love myself enough, right, that I'm going to step back and I'm going to pick my battles, right? And that's it.
That shows maturity and courage, and just so many qualities that you bring to the table. And I've seen you just develop and change, and that's pretty cool. So let me tell you, just recently I reconnected with Fran about a year ago, maybe, and through Facebook and all those social media platforms are very powerful. And I connected because I read your stories, and I read your comments, and I picked up on your pain. I remember calling Fran and saying, "Hey, Fran, what's going on?" And I hadn't done that. And I kept reading her posts and reading what she was posting. And then I said, Fran, who knows my voice, who also knew my pain when we were coworkers, I said, Fran, will you help me edit a book? So I've written a book. It's about 43 chapters long, and it's about my journey with breast cancer, on how my journey with breast cancer, like your journey, as a widow, changed me and improved me and made me also feel that I am enough. And Fran said, yes, let's do it. So we've been working closely for about a year, and we've finished the book, and now hopefully we can, send it out to get it published. But it was a challenge for you. Okay, I'm not going to use the word challenge. It was an exercise in what for you?
Well, we had so many things happen that were similar throughout the course of our friendship and working relationship. We both lost our mothers. We both had later in
bonus
life
babies.
Yes, bonus babies. And I think we connected in those ways. But when I worked with you, there's a certain part of television news production where if you're a writer like I am, you have to learn to speak with someone's voice, and I knew how to do that for you very well. So, but when I started receiving the chapters and I started going through them, I realized I missed all of this, right? Because I didn't live here anymore. Mm-hmm. And if I had lived in El Paso, I would have been right there in that journey with you. So it was like I was experiencing for the first time everything you had already been through and done. And some of it was really hard to just even read through, much less try to edit and tweak and really make it sing,
mm-hmm. Because that's what I said, Fran, make it sing.
But when I felt so privileged to be able to see that from the very real place that you wrote. And I'm not to say anything but the stories that you did when you were still in television and all of that. Those were great stories, but they were more informative, less personal. Mm-hmm. And the book is raw. The book doesn't pull any punches at all. The book is, the story of it, not just, oh, well, here's how this works and here's how, here's what it's like to get a breast implant or anything. I mean, it's very, I can't tell you how much I admire the courage that it took for you to put that out there. It's very personal. It's very moving. And I think it speaks to the kind of person that you are, even when you haven't realized that about yourself. And the strength that you possess to keep on keeping on, to keep on going. We share that in common as well.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a lot of things in common, and that's why I asked you to do this. The book is not out yet. It's close. We're close. I don't want that window to close because my goal. I was asked, so why are you doing something like this so personal? Why would you share it with a stranger? I said, well, you know what? These readers may be strangers to me, but I may not be a stranger to them because I've made that connection over the years through the newscast. Now they're just going to get to see the person behind, that's not on camera. Mm-hmm. And it's been pretty painful. And I started reading a few chapters again, and it is pretty raw and it is pretty open. And I'm excited, and it was a privilege too for me to work with you through this, and hopefully we can get together again and talk about the book and see what kind of results and what kind of how people receive this book, right? So my goal is to give it, to sell it to, because some of that money is going to go to the Stand with the Stella Fund, the Stand with the Stella Casas Cancer Foundation, and my goal is to sell it to these oncologists and to hospitals so they can give it out, because they can make that connection. One thing is to know that your neighbor, had cancer, is going through breast cancer. And one thing is to maybe see somebody who you've watched on TV for all those years, and came out, they think that we're special and that somebody does our makeup and picks our clothes and does our hair. And I mean, that's not true. So we have to talk about that too, because there's a misconception about who we are. And I guess this just opens the door to showing people who I am.
And I'm going to tell you, because this thought just struck me as you were talking about it, and having somebody ask you, why would you do that? Why would you be so personal? Or because if you don't, then it doesn't get said. In the same way that if I don't talk about my child, if I don't talk about myself, I can't help anyone if I just keep quiet.
It stays in the closet.
It stays in the closet. And if you're coming out and showing people, this is what this was really like. It wasn't all, peaches and cream, I guess.
Right.
But this is really what the experience was like. I think for any person out there who experiences the same kind of fight, it's inspirational. It is something that says to, or ought to say to someone, that you can do this too. And sort of ironically, I'm not special, right?
You are.
I'm
to
not
me.
special, but you can do this. And I feel like as not only as a person, as a woman, right? Sometimes it's really hard for women to find their voices. Sometimes it's really hard to have those voices be heard. And the fact that you put it out there and you're real with it, not BS. That's the most important thing about that, is it's authentic and it's real, and a person can know, this was experienced by someone else and they're here telling me the story about it. That means I could do this too.
Are you going to write a book?
I'm considering it, yes.
You have a lot to say too.
My books, though, or the book that I've had in me for a long time is, it's not a triumph story or anything like that. It's more about grief and the transformative power of it, and how we can all learn to accept that. Because, honestly, my husband died unexpectedly and young, and I was young. I was only 44. And the truth is, all of us are going to experience it.
Exactly.
At one time or another. And your death is as much a part of your life as your birth. And we need to treat it that way. We need to get past this sort of taboo around death, and that's what I want to write about.
I just thought of this. So John's death was actually your rebirth.
Kind of, yeah. And it was an uncomfortable, to put it very mildly, rebirth.
Well, everything that you have to go through to get to relive and come back alive, come back, is difficult, and it is. I'm not going to use the word challenging. It's such an easy word to use.
It is,
but that's what takes us to where we are. It's the path that we have to go through. We have to go through some ugly times and some bad times to get to where we are.
Right. That's absolutely true.
We just have so much to talk about. Anything you'd like to add that you feel that women will walk away, and men and families with a message today?
I think the thing that's been on my mind most recently is I want people to learn to embrace the idea that we're all connected. and it's not possible for us to be separate from each other. And I'm not talking about codependency or anything.
No.
We are all literally in this together. And
do you think COVID just proved that, or has it always been the same? But now, we can't say it was because of COVID.
No,
it's a crutch.
No, I think that COVID definitely proved that we're all more connected than we think. Unfortunately, it also showed us that we easily divide from each other, and that's not okay by me, but the idea that we're all connected, we're all part of whatever the unfolding that is occurring, means that in a sense we do have responsibility to each other. And again, I don't mean that codependently at all. I mean that human beings are interdependent. We're meant to be that way. Mm-hmm. We're meant to exist with and for each other. And, maybe that's a book.
But you have a lot of things to talk about.
But seriously, that's literally, when you strip away everything, that's all that's left. And that's the essential truth. I mean, you can have money and fame and cars and houses, and you can have all of those things, and that's all just window dressing. But we like to imagine that it's the thing, and it's so not the thing. The thing that matters is us
making
together,
that connection,
interdependent. Mm-hmm. The rest of it, as long as I can eat, sleep and, be clean and whatever, I'm good.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters. That and you. And, we don't just live for ourselves. That's what I feel like is the biggest thing in my mind lately.
We've had some deep, deep conversation. My last question is, what's next for Fran?
Well, so as you know, just a few years ago, I finally graduated from college. I finally went to college. I hadn't.
It only took me 25 years, so right? I get it.
Another commonality for us.
Right.
But what I think I've been contemplating very hard lately is actually going back to school to get my LPC. Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel called to that. I feel called to counseling and helping people. I mean, I feel generally like I'm a helper kind of person, but I feel like I could most effectively do that with a degree and a license.
I'm sure that whatever you choose to pursue, you're going to be successful at. I know that. And I just want to tell people that I don't feel like I have this calling that, that God tells me this is what you need to do next. But I think we should be listening to our inner self to say, this is where I'm going to go. And there's a reason why I made that connection with you over Facebook. And there's a reason why I made different connections during my journey. And just listen to that and follow your heart.
Exactly.
Your heart speaks to you.
Yes, it does.
Thanks for opening up yours today. It was a great conversation with you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I look forward to seeing you again. And I would love for you to come to my book unveiling because we did this together, connected.
I will definitely be there.
We'll see you. Thanks, Fran.
Thank you.
We'd like to hear what you think about today's conversation. Go to the Viva Auto Group Facebook page and like us. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned car or truck, we invite you to choose a Viva vehicle.